I live by the mottos, very simple words: be you, do you. If you are unable to do that, then you're going to get lost in this world. You're going to constantly put up a pretense of someone you're not. So be you, do you, absolutely. And it's okay if people don't matter.
Yeah.
Do you, whatever. Just do you and be you.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Sessions, a video podcast brought to you by Pro Studio, where we discuss an entrepreneur's business life and while we edit, some social media as well. Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Sessions. Today I'm joined by Adriano Visagie, a radio and TV host, presenter as well, and media person, if I say that correct.
Media personality.
Media personality. Yeah.
And banker.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Adriano.
Thank you so much.
Nice to have you here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
How's it going?
Good, very chilled, mellow. We're entering into winter season.
Yeah?
Very, very good.
Yeah, you look very chilled about winter in any case.
I exercise.
Nice and cozy.
Yeah,
I'm the
I
only one with a
exercise every day
jacket.
between 12 and 1. And so the body's still heated
So the
up.
metabolism is running. It's
Exactly.
good. Okay.
Adriano, we want to get right away into the show and we are curious. Who are you? Tell us a 10-15 minute bio of what it is that you do on a daily basis. Who are you? Where do you come from? Childhood? Anything. Tell us your story.
Okay. I grew up in the dusty streets of Karatura. I was born in Karatura. I grew up in Okoriangava, to be specific. And I'm my mom and dad's only child. Mm-hmm. And then come step siblings, which I regard as siblings. In black culture, you don't say step brother or step sister. But according to international, it's step brother and sister. But I regard them as my siblings. And I grew up being the different kid. You know, I must say I enjoyed my childhood. I was the kid that always played in the streets, would hide my dirty clothes. Although my mom would hit me now and then, why are you hiding your dirty clothes? But because my mom is from South Africa, my dad's from Angola, and they both met, and I'm Namibian, I appreciate the diversity in terms of culture and who they are. And none of them have experienced the arts. You know, my dad was always the competitive one. He played rugby. My mom is the cook. She loves food, cake-colored. And I just have a little bit of them, and I've sort of created my own in terms of what I do, what I explore.
Yes.
I love banking. I absolutely love my 8 to 5 because not only do I love working with people, but also with money. I think it's important that we know how to spend money.
So you're more a numbers guy as well?
I'm a numbers guy, yeah.
Numbers guy with a bit of a creative side to it.
Exactly. And then my love for theatre just began when I was, doing Mary and Joseph plays in church. I was like, why can I never be Joseph? Mary and Joseph was always the pastor's kid. They were always Mary and Joseph. And I was either always an animal or the 3 wise men or or a donkey.
Were you all 3 the wise men?
No. Okay, one of them. This year I'm bringing myrrh, the next year I'm bringing something else. But that's where the love for theatre began. And I must say, Frederick Philander played an amazing role in especially my first production that scooped me an award for being a actor. So that for me was amazing. We did the production of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, adapted into Namibian production, and boom, my love for theatre just began.
Began there, yeah. Tell me a bit more. How did you get into being a radio host also? And maybe let's talk with the radio side first.
The radio side, in high school I debated for the national team. So back then, Karatura Community Radio Station, now known as Base FM, was focused more on local radio and also social issues. And I think back then, 10, 11 years ago, HIV/AIDS was quite a major topic in terms of the US investing in Africa because of UN AIDS. And their topics was really focused on HIV. And in order to make it through to the national platform, we had debating through high school. And then, of course, radio was the platform to debate to go through to the nationals. I fell in love the moment I got into a studio. I was like, guys, this mic, the equipment, I fell in love with it. After joining the national team, I came back. I asked the station manager, I really want to work here. She told me, you're a bit too young, you're still in high school. So I used to be the kid that's 16 years old. From school, I told her, I really want to work here. I was really persistent on it. So she said, okay, cool. After high school, come, you were gonna do a 2 to 6 show. I was like, fine. I
Yeah.
told my mom, I'm doing this show. Got paid at 16. I got paid 2005.
Yeah.
That's
for
a lot of
Monday
money.
back then it was a lot of money.
Yeah, honestly,
So
yeah,
Monday to
yes.
Friday, that's what I got paid for. So it was high school. After high school, radio, do homework, and then normal life. Yeah.
And then I guess from radio, you gained more exposure.
I
people
gained more
to
exposure.
go
I
into
then-
a bit more in the theater side as well.
Exactly, but also, with radio, I realized that I can't just be a voice on the radio. So in terms of artistic, I had to get my brand out there. And I think I never had a strategy. The strategy was just to do radio because that's where my passion was. I fell in love with it. And I must also say, after high school, I took a gap year, went to Cape Town just to explore a bit of life. I think from my side personally, because my mom and dad are not educated, they never had the education. But what I love about them is that they've always been supportive in what I do.
That's
I
very
took
good.
the gap year, took my life and just explored. Came back, told myself, venture into radio, venture into what you're passionate about. Then the banking started. I started doing accounting at UNAM. I was juggling all these balls at once. So it was radio. I was doing a radio show. I was doing the banking, and then I was still studying. Yeah.
And tell me, until now also, or maybe at the beginning,
Yeah.
was it that you then had a full-time job as the radio presenter? You then started
It was the
educating
radio.
yourself on the
Exactly.
accounting side and
Yeah.
going to...
And then went into banking. So I was cutting down on radio, and then went into my full-time job, which
Yes.
is now into
Yes.
banking.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
So I had to tone down on one, but sort of still,
Yeah, exactly.
until today. I mean, 11 years later, I'm still doing it.
Okay, and still, what is your, if I may ask now, what is your
8 to 5.
Yeah, what is your 8 to 5
I'm a
nowadays?
banker. I work for private clients for
Yeah.
First National Bank. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
But you still have time to be on a radio. You still make time to go to do theater,
Yeah.
be an actor. You're also, for me, quite, like you said earlier, media person on Instagram. You're active there. You're on social media as
Exactly.
well.
I mean, I think social media has become a good marketing tool because
Yes,
I've taken
100%.
it to my fullest capacity in terms of branding myself out there. And I think also because of social media, it's allowed me to be consistent in my craft, and especially because I believe in the man above, and also whatever you put out in the universe doesn't just come if you're not associate and align yourself with certain people. And I think that alignment has been there by giving back to the community,
Yeah.
by
Yeah, fully.
being, and hence with my craft, I tend to share it all over the spectrum. And I believe I've used social media as that tool. So social media has gotten me different gigs. Social media has allowed me to do radio still. So if I'm on air, my audience knows that you're on air.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I even get notifications sometimes. Oh, Adriano is live. I'm like, hey, cool. I'm gonna switch in.
Yeah.
I'm be honest with you. I'm not there for like long, but I'm like, okay, he's live. Cool.
Yeah.
Then maybe switch into the radio to listen.
Exactly.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So if it's radio, or is it that I'm hosting Song Night because I'm the brand ambassador for hosting this
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
in terms of emceeing, and then my 8 to 5 allows me because they know what I do part time, and if I'm not at home or work, I'm busy studying a script somehow somewhere. Yeah.
A hustler by the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. But I
Yeah.
see your passion is also with a ton of things, right?
Absolutely.
Or like a broad spectrum of things, but
Yeah.
you're like so intrigued into. You do have a big creative side for me though, even
Yeah.
though you're a numbers person.
Thank you.
With the theater, with being even on radio with voice, with sound, you
Yeah.
need to be creative
Absolutely.
sometimes.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you do.
You can't
have-
sound
you-
monotonous.
No. You do have
Yeah.
that.
I
fully,
can
yeah.
I can vouch that he has a very creative side. I've worked with you on one of the Kundwana videos.
Yeah.
Where you were a very burly camper and you had to make fire in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And went to watch one of your shows
Yeah.
at the theater,
Yeah.
Battered,
Yeah.
which was incredible.
Thank you.
Maybe you could just briefly tell us a bit about the character you played so people just know how diverse you are with.
I played a transgender sex worker.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
so-
Not the easiest task to do.
But also the transgender sex worker had a lot of obstacles. She was HIV positive. So in my mind, I had to embody myself as a woman. I had to practice what it's like to wear a bra. It was interesting, but I think the interesting part was the fact that there's so many social issues that we go through. And this is what I love about acting. It's because it allows me to be the voice for the voiceless. I believe everybody has got a voice, but not everybody has a platform to speak about what they're going through or what they're experiencing on a daily. So that's that drives my acting for me personally. Yeah.
It's insane to see. So for me, I'm picturing it right now. It's like, wow.
I hate the makeup part though. I hate.
I can imagine.
I mean, I barely grow a beard like the two of you, and this little I grow, I have to shave. So
this is barely anything. That's
something.
Yeah.
Interesting. You also, like you said earlier, you went to South Africa and now you're back.
Yeah.
Was South Africa was just a gap year for you?
It was a gap year, and also just spending time with my mom's family on that side. I think the exposure on the market, especially the creative side, it's quite broad. Mm-hmm. I think for me personally, I've gotten into the age of doing what I'm passionate about, but also sort of building a legacy. Because at the end of the day, we want to see that the next person, the next generation can wake up one day and say, you know what, as opposed to juggling what Adriano's been juggling, I want to step into just being an actor. I want to step into just being a radio personality, and that becomes sustainable and that it becomes a lucrative industry.
Yes. So interesting. If you say, for me, actually, like you said, your radio job was your first, right?
Yeah.
Now you transition fully into banking. So I think your 8 to 5 is now banking fully.
Yeah.
But do you make still some income from radio, and that's
Absolutely.
just like a second job, or is it just now, man, the passion is so big, I actually do it free of charge to help the radio station grow and being active?
Yeah.
Or do you say, no, man, they pay me now, I have a little sideline job there, and I have my full-time job there?
In this business I've learned, because I'm an entrepreneur myself, I'm my business, and I've got some.
Yeah, and you're building on your own brand, right? The Adriano brand.
Exactly.
Yes.
So in terms of photography, I've got photographers that I need to pay without going to an event. I've got someone that needs to make me close to the events that I attend to.
Yes.
So I use local designers, so there's payment needed. So
exactly,
every source of income is budgeted accordingly.
100%.
And obviously with that comes with recruiting either a new College of the Arts student or a photographer that's up and coming to say, okay, I love your quality of work. I'm going to an event. Let me employ you. So I've got that.
That's interesting. It's very interesting for me because you actually, like you said, now you're building on your personal brand.
Yeah.
And that helps with then not just having one leg as I'm a personal banker. If that thing goes south, then I like how that you have a few arms and kind of juggle that a bit. And like you said, now you also take it quite serious with not everyone takes it serious in the sense of hiring a photographer who goes along, right? So you can cover proper media of you.
Because at the end of the day, it's bread and butter. Whatever you spend your time on, even with like you asked now in terms of the radio, it's my Sunday slot, but I've made it my own. The show is not the show with Adriano. So that's the branding I've done around it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I was inspired by listening to Rick D's when I was very young.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Rick D's and the weekly top 40.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, Rick D's show is not Rick D's without him. So that's where my passion came from, and it was really about branding for me. It's whatever you do, you need to put your stamp on it and make sure that whoever you're taking along understands my vision of what I want to do. That's why quality is more important than quantity for me. Yeah.
And tell me then, obviously, Adriano is the brand.
Yeah.
So you're doing banking, radio and TV, and also your theater. Yeah. All of that mixes into the brand Adriano. So is there another thought of, say, in 10 years' time? In 10 years' time, Adriano will be the brand who develops a fashion line, who gets sponsored by bigger brands, of being an influencer, not influencer and selling products, but being more of a media person. So
I've never seen myself as an influencer.
Yeah.
But I do believe there are a few of my followers that feel that I'm an influencer. I personally believe of making a difference because each person has their own identity. It's about igniting in yourself whatever sets your life on fire. I believe I've also unfollowed those that, on social platforms need to evoke something in you that makes you feel sort of a low self-esteem about yourself.
Inferior.
Yeah, inferior about yourself. And for me, it's about do something that's passionate about you, but that should inspire someone to also be passionate about who they are and whatever sets their soul on fire. So in terms of a clothing line, it's been a discussion for so long because like I said, I was doing radio and you just didn't want to be this voice.
Exactly.
And so when you Google me, you'll actually see that it's different local designs that I've used. Where I'm attending the Met in South Africa, or I'm traveling to Lagos. It's really Namibian fashion. And I feel I've used up-and-coming designers as well as established designers to sort of get my name out there, because my fashion also a bit provocative, but also just a bit daring. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like I see it even with myself, with Yaku.
Yeah.
Nowadays, with the internet being here and technology being better and everything is so easy to create, like creatively you can produce so much on a computer. And meaning with that is you can start so many new things where one has to also be a bit patient of saying, okay, I want to do this, I'll maybe use the channels of radio, theater, my actor life, my TV life, to kind of use that as my marketing tools in order to maybe sell my fashion collection one day.
Exactly.
And even collaborate on that.
Exactly.
So I guess that's also your
the beauty
your
of
thought behind it.
And the beauty of tech today and social media is that I don't need to be in Milan to get my clothes across there. I can be in Windhoek and just design this, use local designers, collaborate with them and say, guys, we're taking this look to Milan.
Yes.
And boom.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should work. It should.
Yeah.
It's a different challenge, but it can
Absolutely.
maybe work.
Yeah.
Tell me, what did you... after I think being in radio, let's stick with radio again. What did you do with your first paycheck that you ever received?
I took it back home.
You took it back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling my mom that because I'm the eldest of 4 siblings, and I told my mom that this is ours. I've tried to be an exemplary for all these years. This is actually a bit emotional.
Yeah,
Go for it, please.
Yeah, so I took my first salary home and I was like, Mom, this is ours. It's not mine, it's ours. Yeah.
That's actually very humble, because it's also, I guess, your mom helping you. I'm not sure, I have to ask. Maybe was your mom the one who pushed you in life and also said, son, go for it. Don't hear what the
She
say.
didn't want me to venture into the artistry because everybody always questioned, why you the odd one? I mean, I think in my family, I'm the only one that does what I do in terms of theater and just exploring. So
I must actually ask in that regard, were you as a child always, like you said earlier, we're playing in the streets, but were you also like, not saying the clown, but the person, the actor? You know, like some kids, they stand up like, this guy has to go on a stage.
Exactly.
One day.
I mean, in Afrikaans, we played Heisiki.
Yeah.
So, that's like, my mom would call me, when are you getting back home? You've not even bought yet. So I was the one, even in class, I was the child that, even in the arts class, whether we're doing craft and technology or just sewing or just using beads, I would hate that those periods were over, because it explored, it helped you relax. Everybody was cutting and pasting, and you would experience a total silence in class. So, yeah,
and you got to kind of in your comfort zone as well. You kind of just explore and do new creative stuff.
You flourish more in the spaces where you can express yourself.
Exactly. And then you get to the next class, and you're like, okay, 3 times 5. You're like, shh.
Same with me. I was the best in mathematics. No, not really. Can't count for shit. And, interesting. But for me, I still see you as like this media person that actually gets a lot of attention online now, since you're doing all these products, all these kind of ventures, that I would say. My question also is there any, I would say, maybe, are you looking forward to a certain following number in order to reach another goal? Would you say, I'm not really concerned about my followers, about that? Like, a lot of people are out like, okay, I need to get 10,000 followers, then I can maybe approach this and this person, and I can maybe be the next, I can maybe start my album or whatever. Is that also something you look to, or you say...
at the end of the day, as any creative, you want more followers. And I think we had this discussion one day about why is it that when you strip and you get naked, or you are selling drugs, or you're being this guy that's just
Walter
not
White.
yourself, that there's a lot of following. And I've realized is that we tend to lose ourselves for followers, and a lot of creatives post so much. It's like, I've got a moment with my family of just enjoying this time, but now we need to sort of snap this.
Yes.
Or my mom, I just bought my mom 5 roses. I mean, if your mom is not there, are you going to enjoy that moment, or is that moment just going to be a moment on social media?
Yes,
So
yes.
we post so much that it takes away from who we really are.
Yes,
And
exactly.
if you keep on giving to social media, you become this empty vessel that's just there.
Yeah,
So
and you kind of start doing things just for your followers.
just for your
instead
followers.
of really being real.
Exactly.
So,
So my space, I'm sorry to say this, if I'm alone, if I'm in the
Yeah.
bathroom and I sit there by myself, because that's my purest self.
yes.
Who are you? Is it that you can, if you don't have money, you can call your followers to say, you know what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, so at the end of the day, you should still have a lot of dignity and a lot of pride, and walk away with principles, because, you know, ask yourself, are your children, is the next generation going to be okay with the things you post? Is your mom,
Yes,
who's
who's gonna
probably
stay there
not on
forever,
social
yeah.
media, or your grandfather, going to be okay with what you post and what you do? You know, so
Yeah, because it's your digital portfolio.
exactly. So that for me has always been about authenticity, but also speaking of influencing, but also igniting those that follow me. You know, for me, it's always about discover who you are, discover what is your potential, and just go for
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like you noticed with you, your radio started out there.
Yeah.
I'm still curious, how did you get more into TV? Is it... Was
So
there,
I've
was
not
there-
spoken. I did a year ago. I did the Real Good Kitchen cooking show.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's why I saw you. Yes.
So we did it for 2 seasons. You know, I think when I watch the Americans and they always say, "Oh, we're coming back for season 2," you're like, "Wow." And I've realized,
You don't know what it actually
I now
means.
know what it means. You know, when you come back for season 2, because you're like, okay, they set it and they budgeted and they're gonna come back with season 2. So.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed season 2 of the cooking show more than 1, because it was more with family, it was more interactive, but also because of my mom's cooking side. You know, my mom is always the one that says, "You're the eldest, so if I'm not there one day, you need to."
Yeah, to support, to
that
help.
responsibility
Yeah, yes.
has
Yes,
come
yes.
my way, and I think being in the kitchen and just exploring with food is something which is innate, but also really one of my passions. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love cooking. Yeah. I mean, now that I get to do it on TV, it's even better.
Yes.
So,
yes,
yeah.
yes. And that was your first ever like show that you guys did, or did it spark into you doing now more things on TV and
More things, absolutely. I've done a lot of presentations on TV for kiddies programs. For I remember for Namcall, I did a production in terms of just talking about education. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
That's good.
tell me on that regard, what advice could you give to someone who wants to go into your footsteps, kind of from what does it take to actually really become someone who talks confidently on radio, who's confidently on TV, and kind of like you, becoming a media person?
Yeah, a lot of hard work. You know, I think to be consistent, you find guys, and especially last year, I saw a lot of artists just disappear this year, and it's because they do the things for now. And like you asked me now about social media, it's that they're booming on social media for a season, and the next season they're gone. And when you check up on them, they're just gone forever. So to create that longevity is to really plow back into your brand, to be consistent, to work hard. I think with today's youth, it's been a thing of quick gratification. If you're not putting in the hours, if you're not putting in the work, it will not come back to
Yes,
you. You know, I
100%.
think for me personally, my debating has helped a lot with my confidence, because I schooled in a school in Commersdal and I debated against the guys from St. Paul's, St. George's. And when I got to there, I was like, "Mom, I need a blazer," because these guys debate in a blazer, and that just brings so much confidence. to
Yeah,
me,
no,
you know?
100%.
And I was like,
100%.
"Mom, get me a blazer." Boom, blazer. I was like, wow. The confidence that comes
Yes.
with just wearing that.
It's
So,
crazy. It's sometimes the little things, but it's
Exactly.
something
So I
something
took
you
off the
need to do
blazer.
it.
Exactly. I took off the blazer and I was like, can I still be that confident? Because I thought this is my magic wand. But initially, just work hard. Set yourself that goal. If you can study it, go for it. If you can read about it, do proper research to know. For me, currently, being in this industry, it's all about longevity. If you can sustain and maintain your brand, do it.
I mean, I think the audience also needs to have something like you have to be, or not have to be, you don't have to fake it, but the audience also will want to watch you for a longer period in
Exactly.
terms of if you're more real, and then I guess also bigger TV shows.
Yeah,
We want
but just
Adriano.
share your journey
He's bringing the
authentically.
masses.
Yeah.
Share your struggles. I for one personally used to share a lot of my exercise videos. I took it off because more people are like, oh, but you just gained weight, but you're in the gym all the time. And so I was like, no, this is not me. But I spoke about it. I had a live feed and I said, guys, I've been struggling with my weight. It's up
Exactly.
and down because I'm always in theater. I don't get time for the gym. So if you share your failures as well, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good to share what has failed you. And I think
Exactly.
But that is
even
part
in-
of it.
Exactly. It's part of your journey because if you're in this industry, you need to look the part. You need to look good. You need to show up where whatever expectation is there, you need to flourish in it. Yeah.
Well, if we, on the topic of failures, what would you say has been your biggest failure on your road to success?
Wow. There's a lot. There's been a lot. I think, in a nutshell, it's really been, when you're trying to come up with new ideas, and especially in an industry because of Namibia being a development country, we're still growing a lot. And it gets me to a question where I ask someone, why is it that we use an iPhone in Africa when it's more of an international product, unless you're traveling a lot? And with that type of tech, it's the introduction of, oh, we're in radio, but why can't we do extra, record this? Or you want to venture into a TV show and people are telling you, no, but your concept does not serve our reserved people. So, or a lot of doors being shut, basically, your propositions being used and you're like, but that's my proposal. So a lot of backstabbing, but you grow thick skin in this industry. Once you're in it, you need to...
I think also a lot of judgment.
Exactly, a lot of judgment, a lot of...
Professional jealousy.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people not supporting. I think I've passed that of where I yearn for support. I think there are those that really support the art and come for what it's worth. And I've worked so hard that whatever I put my name to is of quality, so that whoever steps into my audience, they need to know that what they're paying for is not just a Mickey Mouse business. It's quality. We've worked hard for this. Yeah.
Cool. I must get another question for you because it's so much business talk. Our questions are more so business related. I actually have a question in regards to when it comes to social media. What is your go-to, so to say? Is it which platform is your go-to? Is it Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn? What do you say works the best for you as a media person in this country? Which
Currently,
platform?
I don't know when we're going to drive away from it, but Facebook still does the thing. Facebook and Instagram. I'm a bit more vocal on my Twitter now in terms of sharing my thoughts, especially when it comes to social issues. Yeah. But personally, Facebook still gets the rating that everybody wants. If you post something, I can drive people to Facebook, drop a link and get them to my website.
And they'll actually go and click,
Exactly.
It's actually interesting with most of the sessions that we have here. Yeah. Everyone agrees on that Facebook is still the go-to thing. They also agree that Twitter is coming, Twitter being here, and Instagram coming very strongly. Yeah. But most of them say it's the older generation that's still hooked on Facebook.
Exactly.
And the younger generation is coming on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which, I see the trend with everyone like that.
What I love about Instagram, though, is that you can boost, you can see who's viewed it, you can see how many people are following you, how many people are viewing you.
Exactly.
So that business aspect of it is there. And I've boosted a few posts, and that has gotten me, in terms of my business, that's why I know, okay, if we want to work this month and there's no gigs, we need to push for a post or two.
Yes, at least.
At least.
Tell me actually on that regard, is the not your secret sauce, but do you have a speciality when it comes to posting, to say okay, I need to at least have once a photo. The photo is going to be about me, or the photo is me in work, me at gym, or like you said earlier, you removed some of those, but not asking for your secret sauce, but do you kind of follow something, or did you say, nah, I post what I feel?
I think I post what I feel. Yeah, it's a thing of where I delete and I'm like, okay, no, that picture is not of quality. Let's wait for the photographer's picture. And then, if they're taking long with editing, then we just go with it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about that moment, but also the impact that I want to have.
Mhm,
For me, it's all about whatever I post. Is it necessary? Is it
Does it also
getting-
bring value to the
does it
viewers,
bring
perhaps?
exactly.
Yeah. Or
But
is it just
also-
like a random?
Yeah. So if you want to see me random and maybe having a glass of wine or beer,
Then I think
whatever,
you must follow someone like Jack Barrow or something,
Yeah.
or the Unfurt, because
Yeah.
they're just like on stage something.
Karate
Like,
Exactly.
okay, we know you're singing
Yeah.
or rapping. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. But if you're into that and music, you maybe find value through it, but they never share like the hustle of things
or just on my stories. I think a lot of my giving credit to, especially young entrepreneurs and those that are just trying to come up, is really through my stories. Or on my Facebook page, because I really tag and try to share them. But for now, Instagram is just about boosting the business side of it, because corporates are also getting onto Instagram.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, that's
So
that's
whatever
very true.
they're seeing, it's my boosting to say boost, boost, boost. Okay, gig.
That's actually an
Money.
interesting. That's actually a question that I have for when you post on Instagram. Do you ever post on LinkedIn?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is
And,
that more for you than certain content you wouldn't share there because it's not too businessy? Okay, so you're also on that.
Because of the corporate
Yes,
environment
yes,
that I'm
yes.
still in.
And tell me, did it help you with then your banking life? That you actually through like someone noticed you on radio or TV, and then they read up on your Instagram profile that you're into banking, and then like they gave you rings like, I'm not here for TV, but I'm here for banking. Even though you
It
don't
has
share
happened.
banking
Can
It
you
has
handle my
happened, yeah.
money?
Yeah.
This morning, actually, I got someone that says, please check your WhatsApp. And I was like, oh, this is bank related. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
interesting.
and that's the environment, and especially my clientele that we work with, because we work for private clients, is that we work with the niche clients, and we're not saying the rest are not, but it's just these are the clients that can quickly WhatsApp you. If they're abroad, they can quickly send you a picture to say, I'm stuck in traffic. I can't.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And they have full trust in you as well, even though they say, okay,
Absolutely.
you're quite open and online
Yeah.
on social media. So can I really trust you? Did they ever come some questions around or?
Not necessarily. It's more of when I do socialize, which I barely do. I try to avoid being in social places. I get that. Oh, this is my banker, guys. I want to introduce you to my banker, and I'm like, wow, it's that this thing in Namibia where we like boxing,
Yes.
Because when you
yes.
tell me I'm a banker, I'm like, I feel so boxed. Don't box.
But
me.
also, I'm honest with you. If I see someone and like you now, I see you on TV or I see you on a social media video with Gondwana or on the radio, and then I'm like, but that can't be my banker. Or it can't be a banker. I imagine someone in a suit with a tie and like a bit stiff. And it's like just numbers.
Yeah, I hear you.
So yeah, I kind of get that with the boxing. Yeah.
But it is very much uniquely Namibian, because I'm thinking about the acting field, radio, and when it comes to sport. I mean, our national sport teams, the rugby players and the cricket players, they all have full-time jobs.
yeah, they all.
So
do.
it's
Nobody's doing a full-time
Yeah.
living of.
And I
being a
must
rugby
say,
player.
I'm so
Not in
proud of
Namibia,
our
though.
rugby
Yeah.
team. Whenever I see them and they're going to the World Cup this year again, is the fact that when
Yeah.
they're on there,
Yes.
everybody's like, oh, Namibia.
Mhm.
And what stands out for me is the fact that they're competing against guys that does this as an 8 to 5.
Yes, exactly.
And you're like, but these guys have dads, their fathers, they've got a,
Yes.
I mean, being a father is a full-time job.
Yeah,
Being
yeah.
a parent in
Yeah.
itself, they've got their own full-time jobs, plus they play rugby, and they play rugby for the national
Yes.
team. So
Exactly,
that in itself,
exactly.
and they perform so well. So, it's time that we plow back into,
I mean, we heard it this morning earlier with Melkis, another creator of Lefa. He also said the app works and he could make a full-time living of it, but the population is too small.
Yeah.
The same with sports here. There's not enough population to watch the sport to be fundable to make that a full-time job.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I still have to be an engineer or butcher, but
Yeah.
at night I'm going to play rugby for the
Yeah.
national team. Yeah.
And I think for the longest time, especially within my spectrum of being a creative, is that I've realized at a very young age that I need to diversify.
Yes, to have a few arms, like we
Exactly.
spoke earlier. Yeah.
And you realize that artists now only realize this. Musicians now only realize this. And hence, you would find a Namibian artist that opens a bar, that has a clothing line, and that is still a brand ambassador for XYZ.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
now they realize, but what's the advantage for them is that they've built on following, which they have. So if they just tweet, what's up? everybody's gonna go like.
Yeah.
But if you just post, guys, I've been going through this business failure, people are just gonna be like, shut up, you know. So it's that type of vibe. So at the end of the day, I think people support who they want to support, but also whatever you do in your art and in your craft, whether it takes 5, 10, 15, 20 years, to be consistent, to be who
Exactly,
you are.
100%.
I posted something today about identity, and I think for me today it's really all about longevity. Whatever you do, just to put your footprint on it.
Yeah. I think in Namibia you can also ruin it so quickly.
True.
Yeah.
So reputation is very key.
It's a small country,
Yeah.
or it's a big country with.
Exactly.
Everybody knowing
small
each
town
other.
mentality. Like you said, yeah.
I mean, back then you would always say that whatever publicity is good publicity. Back then, 10, 15 years ago, that was it. You know, if you're an artist and someone is beefing you, and you'd go on Twitter or you would go on social media, you guys are beefing each other. It was okay. I mean, it was good exposure because now people are like, the entertainment news is writing about it.
Yes.
But now, people are scared to associate their brands with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's exactly 100%.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you use on a personal capacity, do you use Pay Today?
Yes, I do.
Yeah? Do you find it makes a difference in your day-to-day life?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. The city market and Pay Today is my best thing to go
Yeah.
to. And also just events, I think a lot of warehouse events are also really free. I did my first drag show, Tina Turner, and we had Pay Today on as well. Pay Today told us how many tickets we're running.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, is Pay Today part of this?
No, it's not.
Okay, but yeah.
I'm just curious because I feel that's why we also with sessions we try to bring in some people that have an interest for tech and bringing more technology, so to say, or making use of internet and e-commerce and apps in Namibia. Like we had Lefa on, we want to get the Pay Today guys on. I just feel the time is now here to use these products.
Yeah.
And Namibians are using them.
Yeah.
Not everyone. The word of mouth still needs to go around a bit, and the app needs to grow. But it's here, and we can use it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's interesting just to know if you make use of it, right? And if you would run a business, or if you would use it, or would say, nah,
Absolutely.
I'm still going to go cash over hand. So it was always interesting to see in the sessions what
even just
our guests said.
day-to-day running in terms of business with Adriano the brand, it's really about quotations being sent, the type of artwork that's being asked for. So it's, if...
Do you do that even through Pay Today then? Or no, you still have a separate...
So it's really to send an email, I would call on my assistant to just tell her, please sort this out, or send that bio, amend this bio. So in terms of tech, we're really in that space of where I don't have to print something and
exactly and
take
hand
it
it off
physically.
there.
And sadly, we've got that still in Namibia, that where everybody's like, no, I want to see something physically before I...
Old stubborn ways.
Can I fax it to you?
Exactly. Can I fax it? We're like, no, what's that? Do you have your house telephone number? I'm like, what? We still have this on our forms. So in terms of tech, we really need to move with the times. I think when I was in Lagos last year, out of this world, you've got a live event broadcasting all across Africa, and you don't have tens of thousands of speeches of your honor and honorable. Everything is digital. If Yaku's speech needs to get on, it's there for 10, 15 minutes or 2 minutes, and it's done. Your address, key speech, done, move on with the show. I think for me, and I think this comes with millennials, is that we're willing to pay for a experience, but also let it be fast, let it be of value.
And convenient and value.
Yes.
And easy, and also not too complicated to understand it or something. Tell me, how are your thoughts on e-commerce in this country? Like, do you make use of online sites, online shops so far?
I bought on Amazon.
Yeah.
I've bought a few tech on Amazon, and the first time I boosted a post, also for me was quite scary because it's like, this is me putting in my card number. But eventually with time, and I think it's just about the experience. If you go with it, go with it.
Did you ever try Pick and Pay online shopping here in Namibia?
No,
or
I've not.
like Simot has now also launched the e-commerce?
Yeah, what I do like about what we're currently doing with our bank, especially with FNB, is that we ventured into, if you've forgotten your card, I can quickly go to, a local shop and just pay with my phone. I've done shopping. I just pay with my phone. And it's boom, it's done.
It's actually interesting, yes, because
cardless
services,
cardless deposits. You don't go stand in the bank with your cash anymore. You
no,
just do it at the ATM.
Even the card. If I have my phone with me, that's why I like Pay Today, because I can actually just pay via it, and I don't need the card, not my wallet, nothing. I might just need the wallet because my driver's license is in there. That's still a problem.
Which I keep in my car.
Or in the car. But then you switch cars and it's in that car. Not that I have so many cars, but just saying. Do you interact on social media with comments? Do you just...
I do.
Are you a guy that replies back, DMs back, or you're like, nah, I'm celebrity now. I'm not going to reply to all these people?
I really do, because what touched me one day is the fact that I went to a gas station and this lady was really rude. And I addressed it and I asked her, I'm here for a service, I'm buying a pie and I'm paying for it.
Yes.
So why can't you just treat me like a professional person? And then I said, your service is utmost disgusting, and I walked out of there. And a week later, she inboxed me and she said, I looked up to you and, I didn't expect you to say that. And then I apologized to her and I said, your behavior as well was rude, because I came to you. I'm not sure where that came from. So, I mean, if you are serving someone, just do what you're supposed to do, deliver the service accordingly. So, and today we're still talking, and I'm still giving her advice on life. So
I like that you actually turn something negative into something positive.
Exactly.
Later,
because I told her I work in the service industry as well, and if someone is expecting a service, just give it to them. People are paying for a moment, a service.
Exactly.
It would have been something different if I just walked in. I'm like, yo, I'm grabbing this pie. Bye.
Yeah. And then that would never come out. Exactly. But tell me, on social media as well, the same way, if you have like a Facebook comment or...
Yeah. Especially, I'm working on a little something where I want to get the youth more involved. And for me, it's based on the inboxes I have. And hence, I've decided weekly, I've got a ask me, on Instagram.
Yes. Interesting. Like a brand pillar.
Exactly. What kind of questions would you like to ask? Guys, I've used this new Virgin Active bag.
Yes.
I've just posted, that was last week. So
I actually saw that,
yeah.
So I first thought that it might be that Virgin Active is sponsoring you to do this.
Yeah.
And kind of that you make how would you say, influencer funnel through it. Branding on your content, they pay you for that. But
they've just been they gave me the bag because I've been with Virgin Active for so long now. So
okay, so they don't even. I think it's maybe then just because of your membership.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with your social media.
It's got nothing to do with myself. So I just thought about it. It's really a cool bag. If you want to exercise, just join me.
Obviously that's a genuine you giving a product and saying
exactly.
Guys,
I tried this.
This is me being at the gym and I got this. Yeah.
I mean, as guys, we normally just chuck everything into the gym bag and then get to like, oh crap, this shirt, what.
Tell me, is there any, we call it here digital shit that you are currently into? Like, like something that you've seen overseas and you're like, okay, when is it coming to Africa? Like maybe there's electrical cars and you're like, I'm obsessed a bit with that type of tech stuff. It can be anything. It doesn't need to be tech.
Because of my presenting and I think for the longest time we'd never had lapel mics. So as I hate using a mic on stage because it doesn't allow you to
move freely.
Lapel mics are becoming a thing now. I think Doobie Audio with my last gig they had lapel mics, but also just in terms of backdrops. It's not a thing in Namibia, I think the quality of certain productions, especially in television, are not of good quality. And I think if we make use of proper tech more, getting creatives into the corporates or getting more creatives into... And I think the younger generation is following suit because they're exposed to this. They're exposed to the latest.
Exactly.
So even live events, even doing this podcast, the quality for me is amazing. So it's exploring Namibian quality and just putting it out there. So it's that type of tech that we need. I'm not saying adopt something from international.
No.
Yeah, quality international is good, but in terms of creating our own.
Yes. I do also feel that, not to criticize NBC now, but I think maybe with newer tech, that type of company could also produce on an easier basis, perhaps quicker and more... like I said, easier. And it might even spark a complete new audience that want to join, be creative with them, be part of it, and might even spark back to the ROI of them having more views again and having a bigger, newer audience.
Exactly. And just because I've worked, I've studied a bit of the theater and the film industry, is that people of color, you need more light on them, you know. So
obviously.
So with tech, try to, if it's really people of color, brighten the lights, you know, make it pop, you know. Use proper makeup artists that know this is the type of light that's used for different skin tones.
I must be honest with you. I felt sometimes we just wing it. With productions, Namibians, we just wing it. And also
give it to the guy that gives you the cheapest quote.
Yes, and I'm like, what is this? No, why do we just wing it? And we all strive, and our mood boards always have this amazing quality, and this is the type of work we want to get out. But then, like, when we get to the shoot, half the stuff isn't organized properly. Let's just wing it. And like you said, also a proper makeup artist or a proper stylist makes the difference.
Exactly.
Do you feel the same in that regard? I
feel the same. And I think that we need to change that. It's getting there slowly but surely, but we need to change that. We need to change the thing that says, event is for 7, it's 7 o'clock for 7:30, and then it starts at 9 o'clock, you know.
Yes.
So,
but then the hype is over. People are like,
done,
okay,
you know?
It's dying. Nothing is going to happen anymore.
Exactly. And hence I feel with a lot of productions, and I can actually mention a few, which I'm not going to do.
No, please don't.
But I believe if you work with a team and you're working on a certain production, we need to stop the me. I want people to applaud the me. Because at the end of the day, they're going to judge a production based on that brand and that name. So sit down, do your homework, mention who's in charge for makeup, so that you don't have a production where, oh crap, guys, we're on location, but batteries are dead. Oh, this is not there. You know, so yeah.
I feel often that also we Namibians, a lot of Namibians are stumping copper. It's like, no, this is mine. I'm going to keep the secrets to me. I'm not going to have you part of sharing. And maybe the person is just interested in your mic settings or camera settings. And as a newbie that wants to learn but is also afraid to ask. We have to break that also a bit to say, listen, let's share and be open.
And you see, that's hence I constantly respond to inboxes on social platforms, because for me, collaboration is still key at the end of the day. If you've got something and I've got something and I can bring my skills to it, why not work on something where we say, you know what, we both don't have a budget, but if we pilot something and approach it corporate, then
we might get funding and and push through it.
Exactly. So collaboration is key, because at the end of the day, someone Googles Namibia or Namibian creators, it speaks of us as a holistic.
I feel often there's like people are afraid that they say like your colleague now and you are both creative, both photographers. Instead of working together, you don't share, because the one is afraid the other one is going to take him out of business. Where instead of changing the mindset of saying let's work together on it, like you said earlier, and maybe get the bigger funding, be both down to earth and share it then as well, or build something new out of it. But Namibians are not so open to that. It's especially on the production side of things for media.
But making sure that you've got those on your team that share the same vision.
Yes, 100%.
I think for me, one of my failures has also been, and especially with my team, that we had someone who didn't envision what we did. And I think where I've personally failed with that was not having asked the person, you know, is this what you envisioned?
The expectations from the beginning.
Because we've gone in it and we've been in this now for so long, and it's going for 6 months now, but your vision, now you're telling me you want out. And
the results are not there yet, or they, now you want out when the times get a bit tough.
Exactly, now you want out. That's the time we need to push through, you know.
100%, I agree. That's not all the Namibians' mindset, or not like that, no. But once you have a group like that, I feel you can really box out things that are out of the world, where people also see the content and they're like, this is not Namibian. This is Namibian. I think if I'm correct, you also played in the movie Katatura?
No, Salute.
Salute, yes. And I just saw till now a trailer and the covers, and I'm also like, wow, this is already next level. I'm like, must be not Namibian. That was my first thought. And then I looked and like, okay, a lot of Namibian actors, but maybe the production happened somewhere else. But if I'm correct, it was also by Namibians.
It is a Namibian film,
fully.
Fully Namibian cast. The script was written by inmates themselves. We had a director that, with his work, decided he's going to dissect this script and then put it out there. And we because of Namibians not being able to build sets yet, like this beautiful set
obviously,
we're shooting
and the
today.
funding again. Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
They cleared some space for us in the correctional facility, and we had an
But
entire
still,
cell.
even with that,
Yeah.
I find the quality looked amazing. Like it's obviously it was also the real deal. There was the real location. It isn't
Exactly.
the made up
To make it as authentic as possible.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Tell me, is there anything that along the way that you've learned as your biggest failure? Like if you had ever moments like, okay, lesson learned, I'm not gonna try this again or do this again. From you starting out from Cape Town till now.
Well, compromising on yourself. You know, so many times we like, it's okay, I'll drop my value in terms of pricing.
Mm-hmm.
If we agree and don't stand with a certain standard of pricing in this creative industry, whatever equipment you paid for, you're always going to be the guy that charges less and puts out good quality of work. But imagine if your standard of pricing has already been set, that creates a brand around your pricing. And I think for me, one of my failures, and I'm not doing that again, was to drop pricing.
Yeah.
And also
Just to get that job or
just to get that job, but also to be in a situation where you're dropping your pricing and you need to beg for money. Or you're dropping your pricing, you're unable to pay those that work with you and work for you. So that has been my biggest...
Yeah, or kind of work for free exposure. Or
Exactly.
You're getting exposure.
And that allows you personally to dig into your pocket now to say, you know what, this is money that I now need to get out of the petty cash to pay my people. You're like, no, this is not where I envision my business to go to.
No.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think also the struggle gets then more real, more harder. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and there are obstacles, but it's more of if you ask me for a quote, and that's my quote, pay the artist
100%,
for
yes.
the quote, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because one, consider the dynamics that come with that.
Exactly.
You know, and if I have to give an example, if you hire an MC, one, I dress professionally, I'm on time, I would love to have rehearsals, I'd love to have a mic check done, I'd like to be there an hour before the show, I'd like to know who's on stage,
Exactly.
a profile. So
What type of audience?
What type of audience is
Can I have a joke in between?
Exactly.
What
You know, what type of mic are the dignitaries that we need to address?
And that comes with a
according-
price, yes.
Exactly. And that comes with a price. Because one, I'm charging my fuel, all of that is in the pricing.
Yeah, obviously.
The designer's clothes I'm wearing is in my personal photographer is in the audience so that I don't have to beg for images. You know, so
That's actually, it's very interesting. That's
exactly.
That
So
does make sense,
holistically, that is all inclusive in the pricing that I would give.
Who are you following actively? Anyone that you are inspired in? Other social media, other people, other celebrities, or anyone that even a mentor? Is there someone that you follow actively?
There are two Namibians that I follow actively. It's Karen Powell. She is creative. She's shared a lot. She's from the US. And her amazing story was the fact that she was working in corporate. She reached the highest peak in corporate. She decided to come to Africa, Namibia specifically, to just explore. And the day she left, she looked outside the window and saw animals running and When she got back into New York, she came back, you know, back into the 8 to 5. And she's like, but guys,
city
there's
life
something
and
that's missing. She decided to sell everything, move to Namibia. And she's been here ever since. She's explored the creative side. And one thing that I've learned from her is to put your life in a circle. And whatever you've put in that circle to discover those possibilities. So if you say I can't, consider that outside the circle. But discover what is it that you can do within the circle. And I absolutely love that about her.
Even going that extra mile of it takes a lot of courage to sell everything, move to a new country, even though you've been maybe here for holidays or maybe 5 months or whatever.
Exactly. But I mean,
And
this is
start a
we
new
fall in
life.
love with different places. I'm
100%,
planning to
yeah.
go to Bali soon, and I think I fell in love with Bali because of a movie I've watched. So I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, it's gonna open maybe a new circle of life.
And the other person I follow also is Lynn Stradom. She's she's an amazing creative, but also an amazing social media I would call Len an influencer because Len would go to the salon and say, guys, come check out this salon. Len would say, guys, I'm using rose petals as a mask for my face. Are you struggling with acne? Or I'm using this tooth whitening.
Exactly.
You know, so she has she's exploring Namibia. And
Was she not also at once doing a yoga?
Yeah. She was doing yoga.
Full on yoga. Not a yoga. I think it was on her own.
Yeah.
It wasn't like full on account that she ran. She just did it on her personal capacity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To sort of say,
spread the movement a bit.
I'm doing
and show.
YouTube yoga now, and she's done something which I'm really passionate about. Is to go to the sun and just do community work. And I think for the longest part of who I am today, community work has always stood out for me, and hence I don't post any of my community work on social media because that is where.
And you don't want to get that. It's hard to explain, but
yeah. It's more of if I'm in that moment and we know we're cooking for 200 kids, let that be a moment.
Yes, exactly.
You're cooking and you're here to do what you need.
I feel sometimes also you as a person experience it a bit more with you, like you experience it better, and this is the moment with you.
Yeah.
If I now have to experience it through a camera or through my iPhone, I'm so distracted from what I'm actually doing here that
it takes away from that moment.
Yeah, the realness. Yeah, and then when you go at home. At night, you're like, okay, I posted 10 posts. I have my Instagram stories, whatever, but doesn't feel like I've really been there because I was the whole day focused on my phone and on my stories.
Absolutely.
So I'm nurturing this audience, but I don't have time to really experience. Like when you do holidays, like me, for instance, coming from a photography background, and as a photographer, you shoot all day, you shoot for a living, and then you go on a holiday trip, and then I feel like taking no photos. My wife would be like, why don't you take photos? I'm like, and it's so awesome to just experience it,
the moment,
not through a lens the whole day.
Yeah, and those are memories you cherish here and here.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
You know, like you said now with your wife, if you guys come back, you can sit, have a cup of coffee, and say, "Do you remember that smell in wherever?"
Would be nice to have photos with it, obviously, but maybe then she can snap for a while, right? And one wouldn't judge on photos or whatever, but it's just.
It creates that conversation of memories you can dwell on.
Yes. Was there ever like a holy shit moment where like, okay, holy shit, this just happened. I just got this contract signed, or they just booked me, or anything that around that?
I normally have holy shit moments when I go audition.
Yeah.
And I think last year for me, hosting the Windhoek Jazz Festival, because I think it's one of the biggest events on the social calendar, where I got the call and they're like, listen, you're hosting with Weya Kadandunge. And I'm like, holy shit. Weya has hosted the Namibia Music Awards before it was even called the Namibia Music Awards. It was called Sanlam Music Awards, and here I'm hosting the jazz festival with her. I mean, this lady has shared so many
ton
stages.
of experience, and she's confident. I'm like,
exactly. So there's no way that our energies will not gel. So there's no way I'll get on that stage and I'm like, you know what, I can't do this. And I'm like, holy shit, guys, this is happening. For the second time, you're hosting, a stage where Zonke is stepping on, which is from South Africa. I think when I hosted it the first time was also where our president just got inaugurated, Dr. Mr. Haki Kinkop, and him and the first lady were there, and I had to do a protocol, and that was a moment for me, when our president was in the US, he had also stayed there with a few of the musicians that were performing. So that for me was a moment, but also a moment for him to, it's undescribable.
I can feel you on that. But was it also for you personally that you say, okay, whatever I do in life, after now 11 years, wow, everything I do, I should believe in myself because it works. It does work. I do still have 4 or 5 legs of arms of things that I do, and banking is my 8 to 5, but and then you realize that perhaps also.
I think it's the constant conversation with yourself, and I think also this is why I speak to my team a lot about to believe in yourself.
Yes.
So many times we get dwelled off because of whatever's happening around the world, where we lose that you can do it. So I constantly
start actually believing in yourself, because you just need that. But like you said at the beginning, your blazer, your piece of confidence.
Exactly.
from the beginning, from early ages, and that started building you as a person.
Exactly. And I think it comes with self-doubt, and it's normal. It's human behavior to doubt yourself all the time.
Obviously.
Yeah. So personally, I believe that it's that question where I sit and ask myself, there's always been a notion that says you're only as good as your last project. And when I've posted that, it's there, it's on my wall.
Yeah.
And I constantly ask myself, is this true, or am I going to change the game? So everything you
That's the question that you're playing with yourself. Yeah.
So that's a question, where I play with myself. So I question myself based on that. Is this project that I'm doing now the best that I have ever done? No. So you just change the game plan, bring something different to it. Whether it's a theater project, explore different diversities of yourself, whether it means you need to be in isolation. I remember earlier this year I played Franz Kafka's play, which is a monkey that starts speaking. So with my director, I asked him, I'm going to take off a week from work and I'm going to be here every day. So we literally locked myself in the garage for 3 to 5 hours every day just to experience the body movements of what it feels like to be in an enclosed environment.
Crazy.
So,
yeah, it's crazy how you're getting to character then also,
So
Sure.
You need to challenge yourself. And I think that for me is my place of safety, my place of peace. When you remind yourself that which you are, nobody can take that away from you, then,
And that.
And that's why I'm saying, go follow Karen Powell. She will unleash that within you.
Yeah.
Her Instagram is lit. But she's really keen on having one-on-one sessions in terms of let's have a coffee and just talk about.
Would you recommend her for sessions?
I would. I'd love her to come.
That's also one of our questions here. Like, who would you recommend for another session, podcast session?
Even Lynn, Lynn is
also,
Lynn is amazing. I think what I love about Lynn is that Lynn reminds me of, if I was a woman, I'll probably be like Lynn. If Lynn was a man, she'll probably be like me. Is that if Lynn tells me about, exploring the Khoisan and hunting for food and, staying in the bush for a week without water. And I think for me, that has been a part of my childhood when I grew up. We would visit my grandparents in Rundu in Angola, where it's, you literally steering this canoe and there's crocodiles passing by you.
Yes.
So
Makoros,
so that has been part of my, growing up. And when I come to the capital, it's hard to explain that to people.
Exactly. They must experience it hands-on.
Exactly. So,
Very cool. So let's go actually also into speed round. Speed round is just yes or no's, quick questions, just to find out some things. What are you also obsessed of or interested in? For me, the first question is right away, what are you checking actively on YouTube right now? Anything on YouTube that you're like, okay, I'm checking that every second night, or maybe it's some tutorials where you're educating yourself or anything.
I'm actually checking out a lot of Brenda Fassie. I'm sorry to say, because she's a musician, but Brenda Fassie, can I say why?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Brenda Fassie, because Brenda was ahead of her time in terms of her music. She was 16 when she rose to star fame, and unfortunately drugs got her where she is. But because she's African, she said she's not the Madonna of South Africa. Madonna's trying to be like her. She had this, had she stayed focused and not, indulge in drugs, she would have still been a brand. Till today, Brenda Fassie, you put in a Brenda Fassie song, people will still judge.
I'll actually check that out.
Yeah. But her interviews, she was 10 years ahead of her time. She knew what to say, how to say it. She was raw. She spoke her truth. She smoked in her interviews. She was really ahead of her time. She was just real. Yeah.
And ahead of her time, yeah.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me, how much do you sleep on a daily basis?
I try to sleep 8 hours, but unfortunately...
not always.
Maximum 6 hours.
I mean, you have a lot of things going on, so...
Maximum. Okay. I sleep. I love my weekends, I must admit. And hence, weekends are family and me time.
Okay, great. Tell me, on social media, do you just follow business people? Do you follow friends and family as well? Or is it like kind of back in the day, people would follow, have so much stuff on Facebook that a ton of people would unfollow friends. Are you still a person who has like a 50-50 thing going on? Or is it more everyone who's a mentor to me, anything that influences me, that is good, that is positive, I'll follow?
I follow positive people. I follow creatives. My family is not they're not creative, so I don't follow them. They're friends on Facebook. If they post or like things, then it's okay. But I don't follow any of my
actively.
family.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Instagram stories, yes or no?
It's a yes.
Yes. So you also talked about it. Also consuming Instagram stories a lot?
Not really. If it's really, you partying and showing how you're popping bottles, regard yourself unfollowed. Yeah.
Okay. No value to me. It's just like, okay, another random party. How much time do you spend on Instagram direct messaging?
Direct messaging, depending on how many messages I get.
I can't
control that in terms of the inboxes and the messages I get.
Obviously, But do you use it a lot to communicate already, rather than email?
I try to use email. Everybody sees email as being professional.
And the professional thing.
I've also directly, especially for my radio program, interact with a lot of artists, either through DMs on Twitter or on Instagram.
Exactly.
Yeah. But what's nice about it is that I see they're getting the business gesture of it, that, they provide their cell phones or email addresses. So that is the cool thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sports, gym, do you...
I gym.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you said that earlier.
Exactly. I love athletics. Ask me anything about athletics except for football. I'm not a football fan. If there's a UEFA Champions League, count me out. I'll be watching. I can tell you now who's in the Olympics. I can tell you all about that.
Okay.
Yeah, and also shout out to Caster Semenya for standing up, against 100%. The IAAF. Yeah.
What is the motto you live by?
Just be you.
Yeah, be you?
Just be you.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Average working hours per day.
Wow.
I mean, being you.
We got
being
24 hours in a day, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Everything is work for me. For me, I think whatever I try not to work as much, but every hour is work. I try not to make every interaction work. But wherever it's possible,
nowadays also being connected via phones and stuff.
Exactly.
You are constantly on, and if you're
working
I'm
working now.
You are, and this is working on your personal brand on you. That is constantly working. I mean, every chat, you can even go to a Sunday lunch and you would have a bit like a small business talk actually.
But what's nice is the fact that if I know it's becoming too much, I can quickly call in the team to say, please sort this out, or I got this email, please just do it. So.
Ranking 1 to 5. What is your go-to social media platform? If you rank them from 1 to 5, it's for Namibian context now as well.
Personally, when I wake up, I would go to Instagram first, then Facebook, and then Twitter. LinkedIn is last on the list. YouTube, fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're also not... Well, yeah, it's interesting to see where you're consuming more your content instead of, I think YouTube is then more video, so it's more like a relaxing state maybe, and at a later stage. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, in Instagram is that even if you just click on search, it exposes you to local, international, African, and
yes, that's where YouTube. I find YouTube is mostly like overseas.
Yeah,
because there's not so much YouTube content here.
Absolutely.
Yes, I get that.
And what you've constantly watched, YouTube would then pop up or subscribe
constantly
to.
the same. Yeah. A lot of Conan is coming, a lot of Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, all that crap that I watch a lot of Trevor Noah as well with The Daily Show, so a lot of that stuff comes up, but that's right what you're saying. Is there any favorite app that you love on your phone that you're also into?
I've got a Samsung phone, I'm going to be honest, and Huawei as well. But my Samsung phone, the one that asks me every morning, how long did you sleep? All these questions. What did you consume? But also just telling me, okay, this is how many steps you've taken, or a reminder of you need to exercise now. So
you do track that a bit?
I track that a bit.
Like your health app. So
how many steps you've taken for the day. And it kind of feels good when, I get home and I'm like, okay, cool, 10,000 steps per day. Oh, cool. I can do better tomorrow. If it's on 16 to 20,000 steps, I'm happy with that, because not so many times you get to the gym, but at least if you know you've walked, then...
Do you make use of Lefa?
I've tried Lefa once.
Yeah?
Yeah. Lefa, okay, there's a margin in terms of competition, and I've also said this to Malk, is that, which is easier for me, because on Saturday I was struggling to get Lefa, and then
obviously. With the times and the drivers not being available,
and it's at 2:00 I'm like, I just finished the gig now at 2. Oh, there's no drivers available, so a dialer cab would be there, you know. So I think in terms of their competition, yeah, that's good competition. But personally, I would always go to Lefa first, because it's starting off new, and I think for
also
me
convenient for you and
very
easy.
convenient. But also we need to support local. We need to support
100%.
the up and coming now. You know, if you've been in this industry for 15 years and I'm just constantly supporting you, what about the guy that's trying now for 2 years? You know,
and who needs the startup, who needs the support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah, then you get to still ask the question of the day. Anything around Pro Studio, anything you've maybe seen or since you've been in this building?
I'd love to have this mug.
Yeah?
Okay, Pro Studio disappeared now.
Yeah, it disappeared. It's only when it's hot, then it's...
Yeah,
then it shows.
But I absolutely love the space. I love the cameras. I love the creative space of this. Yeah, I was telling Jaco earlier that when I was in Cape Town, especially in OBS, that you've got the same setting, but it's all glass. And what's nice about it is that it's white, it's see-through. Underneath you've got designers. On top you've got.
That's interesting, actually.
And all they have is white wall and plants. And I asked them why. I like this more because this is 10 times better because, I mean, obviously whatever you pick up, you put on the walls to show this is what's meaningful to you. So
yes. Yeah, 100%.
Because if you're on that, you get to explore. I mean, Cape Town is beautiful outside. If it's not the mountains, which they feel it's so duh. It's the clouds or just people, or check out the next person in the next room. But yeah.
I think it maybe also has to do with them having daylight, sunlight.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot cloudy and rainy season sometimes in Cape Town. But
exactly.
That's what I miss it sometimes in this building. It's just a normal daylight and just feeling openness or free because of sunlight and feeling space.
And as a creative, it's good to spend time where, I mean, we work, 8 to 5 hours a day.
And you're constantly in this four walls.
Yeah. So create that space and make it a creative space, and for also all the sorts of creatives.
Because I spend 90% of my days here.
Yeah.
Even 99%, and it's just like it needs to be nice. It needs to feel good. It needs to be lekker, so to say that I can.
And I love the fact that Pro Studio has a bar.
You can just unwind there.
To the bar.
Nice, you will
That's
get
the first thing I saw when I got in here. But what's nice is also when I came up here by the production side is the fact that some of the guys were just laying on the couch, and I feel, work should be like that. If you you
have to relax and unwind something.
If you want to create a sofa in the bathroom as well. If you want to just go lay after your poo, then do that.
Yeah, cool. I actually have just one last question, and that would be any last advice, any last words that you could give to our listeners out there? Yeah.
Well, come to Pro Studio first and follow them, support them. And if you want to really follow the footsteps of what I've been doing and also my social media, you will know that I've also asked, my following, why is it that they follow me? Sometimes I want to know, I don't follow as many people, but why do they follow me? And I've questioned that a lot, and especially social platforms, the type of influence we have on the young generation and the world we live in today.
Exactly.
So, one, I live by the motto, it's very simple words, be you, do you. If you are unable to do that, then you're going to get lost in this world. You're going to constantly put up a pretense of someone you're not. So be you, do you. Absolutely. And it's okay if people don't matter.
Yeah. Judge you, whatever.
Whatever. Exactly. Just do you and be you.
That's some great advice, man. Some really cool words. Adriano, thank you very much for being here on the show. I know Jaco left early, but thanks anyways for being here. To all of you guys out there watching still, please don't forget to subscribe, give a like here for Adriano. Also have a look down below in the description. We'll put your links in there, all your social media accounts and everything. So do give him a follow, check him out. And thanks again, guy. Thank you for being here. And thanks guys for watching. See you all next time.